crawling snails, crickets, and lanternflies. I don't want to look at this video. Creepy crawlies are taking over.
Wait a minute. Bugs aren't creepy. Bugs are cool. Kelly Beaumier here with Green Action News. Let's investigate the science. Come with me, best buddies. Hey, best buddies. Here we are with Professor Green. Professor Green, tell us, are bugs creepy or are they cool?
Bugs? Who said they're creepy? I've never
Tell
even
me
heard
all
that.
about it.
Bugs are cool. Now, I'll tell you why. Because bugs pollinate everything. If we didn't have bees and butterflies and wasps and all the other insects, we wouldn't have our food. They go around and pollinate all the food that we eat, almost all of it. Now, our yard used to have a lawn. It used to have grass. But we took out the grass and put in a pollinator garden. So now the pollinator garden is where bugs come in order to eat and in order to lay their eggs. Because we want them to lay their eggs and we want them to raise their young, and so we help them to do that. We think that's our job. Our job is to help the insects. So we have a pollinator garden instead of a lawn. And I think anybody could do that. Now, you're going to find out more about that, so I'm going to send you off on assignment, and you go find out about pollinator gardens and bugs.
That
sounds
good.
Have a great trip.
All right, best buddies, you ready to go? Let's go find some bugs. Hi there, Professor Green. Kelly Beaumier here at Wekiva River. I'm here with Ashley. Ashley, tell us what we're doing today. Yeah.
So we're going to be going out onto the Wekiva River from Wekiva Island, and we're going to paddle upstream a little bit ways to where it's about the confluence with Rock Springs Run, and then we're going to be dip netting for dragonfly nymphs. So we're going to catch a lot of other stuff, macroinvertebrates as well, but what we're looking for today is dragonfly nymphs. And we're going to catch those so that we can look at what's inside their bodies to see what contaminants are in our river. So today we're going to be focusing on mercury. That's what we're really looking for, but we're also measuring, we're going to be looking at PFAS, which is that forever chemical, and we want to see what's happening in our water bodies, and macroinvertebrates are a great way to do it.
Awesome. So bugs are cool. We can learn a lot from bugs, right?
Yes, bugs are awesome. They're very cool. They tell us a lot, and they're usually a good sign that our environment is healthy. If they start disappearing, we know that something is out of balance and we have a problem. So it's a good way to know what's happening, and what macroinvertebrates are out there is going to tell us what's happening in our river system.
All right, kids, let's grab a net and let's get out there. Let's catch some bugs. Rob, wave to the kids. We're gonna go catch some dragonflies. That's a thick one.
And then that just is the dragonfly with as little detritus and water as possible.
And then it goes into the big bag.
And then they each get one of these, and that goes inside the big bag.
This does.
Yeah, the whole thing. So this will go in with that.
Right, only the dragonfly and the little one.
Yep. And then put them in there, and we also record all the sample IDs. So it has this here we have.
Tell us what you found. Let's see what's inside there.
Okay, so in here we have 2 dragonfly nymphs over here, and then this one is a mayfly, and then right here we have a damselfly. So what we're looking for today is actually the dragonfly nymphs, but we just like to visit these guys so that everyone can see what they look like.
And look at the way the mayfly's wings. He almost like he's flying underwater.
Yes, they move very cool. So those 2 floofy things on the side are gills, and then they have the 3 tails on the back. So that's how
So
you
it's
can
literally
tell them.
how he's breathing.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good stuff.
Cool.
It's called a caterpillar of a noctuid moth.
And show me how you found him.
Okay. So again, you look for the grazing scars where he's been eating, and then that's his poop, his frass.
Caterpillar poop. And that's him.
That's him. It'll turn into this little nondescript brown moth. They're actually quite good swimmers, but they only come out at night. They go, once they sort of eat up one leaf, they'll move to another one. But they come out at night because their bass love them. Let me see if I can find another one. All right, this one. So there's the hole. Now I see grazing scars, but I don't see poop. So let's see.
Floating away, floating away.
Oh, no, there he is. Okay. There he is.
Look at that. Professor Green, I'm back from the dragonfly thing. That was fun.
Well, Kelly, I'm glad you enjoyed that. I'm working with monarch butterflies. You don't see any butterflies here, but what you see is a tiny, tiny, tiny little egg. And the egg is the size of a grain of sand.
Just that little white
That
dot.
little white dot. And actually on this leaf, there's also a baby caterpillar. You can see him under my thumb right there. He made that hole because that's what he eats. He only eats one thing, or he or she only eats one thing. Only eats milkweed. And this is milkweed. This is what a milkweed plant looks like when it's fully grown. It's got those colorful flowers on top.
Wow.
And this particular milkweed hasn't got its flowers yet, but it sure is attractive to the butterflies. So the butterflies come and lay their eggs, and then I take the little tiny caterpillars. I wait till they're a little bit bigger than that. The way that I save them is I take that leaf. I'll show you. I'll do one. I take the leaf off, and I put the leaf in my incubator. This is the incubator. It's just a foam box with a whole bunch of test tubes in it. And then I get a tube and I put the leaf in. It may be with a companion, because I want them to have plenty to eat, and then that goes back in. And now in here, there's a whole bunch of leaves that have caterpillars on them and a whole bunch of leaves that have eggs on them. Once they go from egg to caterpillar, I move them over to this side. Now we'll see how big these caterpillars are, because I want to take a caterpillar and put it in the cage. Well, this one's really small. I'm not sure it's ready to move yet, but once it's a little bit bigger, I'm going to put it over here in my cage. So it goes from the incubator into the cage.
Wow, they get that big after being so small?
Well, they grow really quickly. They grow from the size that you just saw, which is about this big, to the size of my finger in 2 weeks. And all they eat in that 2 weeks is milkweed.
Wow.
So they're like little piggies. They eat so much milkweed. They just keep gobbling, gobbling, gobbling. And the hardest thing is getting enough milkweed. You never have enough milkweed. So we have 150 milkweed plants at our house in order to raise those butterflies. Then they climb to the top once they're big enough. And this one's headed to the top. He says, "I'm big enough." And they go to the top and they make a chrysalis. And the chrysalis is like a little package. And inside that chrysalis, that caterpillar turns to liquid. And every cell that was in the caterpillar becomes a cell of the butterfly. And then the butterflies are over in the next cage. They're over here. And we'll let one go. Here's what they look like when they're fully grown. Wow. It takes about 2 weeks to go from caterpillar to butterfly. So 2 weeks from egg to caterpillar and 2 weeks from caterpillar to butterfly. And then once they're big enough, we go into the cage, pick them up and take them out, and then they fly away. So this one is a little girl, and we can tell by looking at the back that it's a girl. The boys have 2 big black dots on their back, and the girls don't have those dots. And now we tell her, okay, sweetheart, you can go away. Now, she may not want to go, so then I just put her on some milkweed out here, and she sits out here until she's ready to fly. But she'll fly away. By evening, she'll be gone, and she'll be out with her friends, flying around the neighborhood, finding flowers that she can eat, and laying eggs.
Already eating right now?
Oh, she's trying.
She's eating right now. That's her first meal.
Awesome. Well, good luck, little friend.
Okay, well, you guys go off and have a great time and find out more about our friends the bugs, because there's nothing wrong with insects. Insects are our friends.
I got a great idea. My friend Riley has an urban farm. How about I go on a field trip with Best Buddies out there?
You go to Riley's urban farm, and I hope that she has something as much fun and as interesting as monarch butterflies.
What do you say, Best Buddies? Let's go. Hi, Professor Green. Kelly Beaumier here. I'm in Southwest Orlando with my friend Riley, and he's going to show us his urban farm. Riley, tell us what you have here.
We're gonna see some plants, some animals, and hopefully some really cool bugs.
Yeah! Who wants to see some bugs? Let's go inside and check it out. Come on.
So over here we have some edible plants, some you may recognize, like small tomatoes,
Oh, wow.
some basil for your pizza, green onions, some kale, more basil because you never have enough, and some rosemary. And the cool thing about the relationship between plants and bugs is that without bugs a long time ago, we wouldn't even have plants like these, because they would try and battle each other out. And in that way, the plants would evolve to have different tastes to try and ward bugs away. But in the end, who really wins? We do, because we get to eat them.
Oh, yeah. Delicious. You're making me want pizza now.
But bugs really do help plants. Without bugs, the passion fruit flowers would never get pollinated, and so the fruit would never get born without a bug's help. Here is another bug you can find in Florida, an imperial moth.
Wow.
Looks like a banana had birth with a bug. It's incredible that such variety and color are found in bugs alone.
They're kind of like the food we eat. Super colorful and diverse.
Hey, Best Buddies, we're back with Professor Green. Professor Green, that was so much fun. And me and Best Buddies, we learned so much. But where can we learn more? How can we learn more? Show me what you got there.
I wrote a book. It's called The Green Actioneers Family Action Guide, and it tells you about 100 things that families can do in order to go green and stay green, because we all want to be Professor Green. Now, here's the kind of thing you find in here. This is about shifting your lawn to perennials, which is what we just talked about. And a lawn is nature under totalitarian rule. That's what Michael Pollan said. So this book is full of things that you can do, and I think kids will like it because it's a coloring book. It's got games and puzzles. It's got English and Spanish, and every family can go through it and do 100 things in order to save energy, save water, save money, and have a clean, green future. That's the purpose of the Green Actioneers Family Action Guide.
I just love it, Professor Green. Would you like to have us come back? Would you invite us to come back?
Oh, anytime, and bring friends. Bring
That's
best buddies. Nothing better than best buddies.
Thanks so much, Professor. That's all for me, Best Buddies. See you next time.